Had to use trickery again. Okay, remember, if you've been paying attention, at first they were trying to blame this inflation on Trump. Everything, was blame it on Trump, though, no proof of that. And then it was Putin. Everything is caused by Putin. Now, I saw this Democratic economist was claiming inflation is caused by the insurrection. That since people weren't, the majority of people don't think this was an insurrection. It was a protest. Got a little out of hand, a little bit of a riot. But since people aren't calling it an insurrection, this has led to mistrust in the government. And mistrust in the government follows all the way down. You don't trust the government, you don't trust the elections, that the vote will be straight, and you don't trust the money. So we got inflation. That's their theory. But they are putting the cart before the horse, because the whole reason that there was this insurrection is because people do not trust the government, and they did not trust the vote. That was the cause of this. It wasn't the other way around. And it's proven to be true. I mean, the more you look into it, the more corrupt that whole thing was. But they're trying to tell you that just you doubting them, that's what's causing all our troubles. If they're going to hang it on that, they're in for a big surprise, because I don't think there's a lot of faith in this government. And the polls particularly do show that. And these people love to govern by polls, so, well, they make them up. Try to justify this in some way. But sometime they're going to have to own it. Well, and I should talk a little bit about this January 6th hearings they're having now, or I don't know what in the world they're called. It's not really a hearing, because it's just a kind of a show trial, a one-sided deal. Nothing's going to be accomplished by it. People would love it if they would actually have a real investigation into what went on. But that isn't going to happen until these people are gone. So this is just a waste of time and money. But they have a theory that this will help them in the midterms, though it won't. There's no saving your ass now. But to try to blame it on an insurrection, that's... But they're going to have them. But when they have this show trial, and they purposely exclude everything that would actually point to what really went on, you can't look at anything Pelosi did at that time, none of her texts and all this stuff. Nope, she's off limits. And she was behind a lot of what went on, and they don't want to talk about the FBI involvement, though there was, it's well known that there was a lot of FBI involvement in this. This whole thing was a setup, right from the start, and the sad thing is there's still people sitting in jail over this without actually even being charged. It's just crazy. It's totally unconstitutional what they've done. But no one has their little show trial. I actually didn't watch any of it. I could see, looking at the committee that's in charge of this, there's no point. If you aren't going to tell the whole story, there's no point listening to one side of this thing. Well, maybe they think they're going to cure inflation now then. They're a crazy bunch. But what's going to happen, once you get them out of there, which has to happen, but honestly, I mean, it's not just Democrats, there's a lot of Republicans involved in this too. I mean, 75% of them people should be replaced, at least 75%. They just need to be gone. Then maybe we can start looking at this January 6th thing. Because it's going to have to be done again. This, like I say, is just a waste of time because it isn't really going into the facts of the thing. So it'll have to be done over again. And they're going to squawk. Oh, horrible waste of money. But this is a waste of money. So all they're doing now really is setting it up for when we finally actually get to have one, because now we know what they're trying to hide. They're making it very plain. Now, what is off limits? That's where the truth lies. So it'll be helpful in the long run, but it's just a horrible waste of money. And it is not, there's no way this is going to save them anything. It's actually just making them look bad. Which is fine. When they're doing that sort of thing, you just let them do it. But it tells you, who you got to get rid of. And I sure hope, I don't see how they can pull through on the midterms. I mean, they've gone so far, people are just so disgusted with them. The only thing, like there was somebody saying, they are so slippery and so desperate. It could be that when it does come to the midterms, that they will, even if they have to start some tremendous war, get some kind of great emergency going that they can use an excuse to not have the midterms. But I don't think people are going to stand for that. I think then you would have an insurrection. We put up with them people way too long. I think a lot of them are actually retired, kind of bailing because they know there's no way in hell, they're done for. They get out while you can, like a lot of their aides and stuff are doing, bailing, because that is a sinking ship. But the problem is they're going to take everybody down with them. But no, trying to blame January 6th for inflation, that is a pretty damn wild stretch. As far as I'm concerned, the only thing wrong with January 6th, it was a foolish maneuver. I mean, it's the kind of thing, if you're going to do, you seriously do it. You don't play at doing it. But that's why it's obviously with a setup. They put together this play of an insurrection so they could clamp down on you. But the one thing I will never forgive the military for not stepping in when there was so much obviously wrong with this election and stuff. It was the time, the appropriate time for a military coup, and they sat back. That is unforgivable. They let this happen. Oh well. It's funny, it used to be on, you put up a video and in the comments it'd be, somebody said, I invested in Bitcoin and, this cryptocurrency, a wonderful thing. You know, you don't see that anymore. I get a lot of weird, in the comments there are always these odd foreign language comments that evidently are linking to some porn site or something or another. I always end up deleting them. But no more Bitcoin. I think the crypto thing is kind of fizzling. Rubles, that's the answer. Get into rubles.